Yeah, this is one of the worst droughts we've seen in the Southwest. I'm Jonathan Thompson, and I have been a journalist for probably too long, covering the environment, water, land, culture, and communities. And I now run the Land Desk, which is a website and e-newsletter devoted to these topics and issues. This is the worst drought since 2002, and 2002 was a terrible fire season. The good thing is that we have these things called snow tell stations all over the Western United States. And so we can look at those online and get a great real-time snapshot of where the snowpack is. And this year it was probably the warmest winter on record for the entire Southwest. And those records go back to 1895. So it was the warmest winter, and what that's done is it's melted the snow faster. For this date, the rivers are very high, whether it's the San Miguel or the Dolores, but it's happening so much earlier that basically all the snow is almost gone now, which means that it's going to start dropping off after this. And so when we would normally see these big flows later in the springtime, we're going to see smaller streams running dry, and even the bigger rivers are going to just be reduced to a trickle. This drought, it's especially bad this summer, potentially, for Lake Powell, which kind of is a big savings account for the Colorado River. Basically, we've been taking out way too much water, and there's not enough water coming into it. They can't release water out of the hydroelectric turbines anymore. So that means it's going to stop generating electricity. One of the ways that they're going to try to keep Lake Powell from dropping down below these critical levels is by releasing water from Blue Mesa Reservoir near Gunnison, Flaming Gorge Reservoir in Wyoming and Utah, and Navajo Reservoir in New Mexico and Colorado. And that's going to, of course, affect those local communities and irrigators that rely on them. I mean, there are some silver linings to all of this. One thing is that we've been dealing with this drought for a couple of decades, and so everybody in this whole region has been working on ways to conserve water and to cut back and grow different crops that use less water. That sort of thing. And weather forecasters are predicting that we're going to have an El Nino moving in pretty strongly later this year, and that could bring big monsoons, and it could also bring a big winter next year. So that's what we're all praying for, because that could help kind of get us out of a really bad situation, at least temporarily. You can follow updates at landdesk.org. I'm Jonathan Thompson. Thanks for tuning in.